All right. Good morning. Good Thursday morning. Oh, I have to adjust the monitor from my webinar from last night. All right. Good morning again. Let's begin with our normal centering. So close your eyes, sit up tall, shoulders back and down. And when you go to your breath, go to those 8 qualities. You know, the even, smooth, deep, continuous, nasal, diaphragmatic, and then getting into the habit of inspecting the breath. You know, when we do this in class, it eventually will transfer out to every day. It takes quite a while, but it does happen. So the belly is always lifting on that inhale and then lowering toward the spine on that exhale. And yes, it's basic and you've heard it 100 times before, but sometimes you just need that little refresher to make sure that, yes, you are doing it correctly. Because it can change with stress or with busyness. All right, a few more of those mindful breaths. Gently open your eyes. And today we're going to start with spinal twist. So go into, you know, you don't even have to cross your legs. So just twist to one side and then the other. Start out gentle so you're not really engaging the large muscles, you know, in the back and abdomen too deeply just yet. So keep that nice and soft. And then as we go into it several more times, you can then, you know, begin to deepen it. And this holds true for, you know, anytime you begin a practice. Now, every day I'm already stretched out, you know, personally. So I have done some movements of my body and my spine, you know, and pranayama and meditation all before class. But still, there's you know, several hours in between, and the body can stiffen up a little bit. So you still follow the same protocol, same good sense. All right, even this out. When I started on that side, I'll switch to this. And then when you come and center yourself, interlace your fingers and press them up. And now let's lift that energy up toward the crown. And then start swaying. And the same thing, you know, gentle to begin with, a little bit stronger, you know, as you warm up. And then release that and then interlace behind the hips and roll the shoulders. And we can tip this way also. right, release from that. Big spinal circles. Still one of my favorite things to do. I like the feeling of the groundedness of it and the movement, of that part of the body that we don't usually do it every day. And then always reverse it. And it kind of stirs the energy. I look at it as, the energy being a little bit more stuck in the hip area. And when we move it or stir it like a pot or a stew, we mix it all up. And it bubbles up and it travels up the spine. And you just feel that general sense of wellness and well-being. Your arms dangle here. You just enjoy that. And then bring it up into the shoulders and roll it. So it's kind of a nice way of looking at the movement, the energetic movement of the body. I cook a lot, so I like using those analogies. And then forward. And then with the energy lifted up, let's work into neck rolls. Just several gentle ones. And I always pay particular attention to what's going on. The tendons that travel, from the skull, into the trapezoid muscles in the back are sometimes the ones that you feel if they pop or move or sometimes snap a little bit. Or tighten, particularly if you, they call it sleeping wrong. I don't know how you could sleep wrong, but sometimes it just happens. And you get that little pull. All right, center. And sit up extra tall. Let your arms dangle again. Breathe deep. You're going to come off the chair onto your knees and do modified camel. We might have played with this a little bit last week, but I want to revisit it. And I really like this version of it. So hands on the edge of the chair, somewhere, wherever it's comfortable, doesn't really matter. Comfortable is key. And then the hips get pressed forward. So let's just keep pressing the hips forward. And that's gentle. Working the lower back. And then gradually start getting the shoulders and the head involved. Just a gentle tip of the head. Think of a pitcher. Your body's like a pitcher, and you're pouring the pitcher, the water or fluid, out the crown of your head. That's a nice way of looking at it. Just an easy pour. And then now maybe a little deeper. We're going to tip and hold and pour and then come back up. And then try that again. Maybe pour what's ever in the bottom of that pitcher. And one more time. All right, back to neutral. All right, let's step out of that. And we'll work with a modified monkey. So the same chair, we're going to step it forward and draw your shin right to the edge of the chair or your knee, wherever it's lined up. And bring your opposite leg back, extend it a little bit. And then hands to your heart. So we'll keep this a little bit gentle as well. And just dip forward toward the knee and then press back. In fact, you know what? I think it's better with your hand on your knee. So forward and back. We'll do this several times. Now changing it up, interlace behind, and let's try the same thing. Just another version of monkey. You know, full monkey is our arms overhead, and then deepening that back bend. That was on Monday night. All right. Relax from that side. Try the other side. It's nice to have a little support here too. You don't have to worry about that part. So just forward and back. And it keeps the knee at a nice 90. And then that other back leg, of course, is extended a little bit. That's the part where we're working. Is the extended leg. And all of these exercises, no matter if it's Tuesday, Thursday, or Monday class, they all lift the energy. They lift your attitude out of a low mood into a high one. And that is all part of what spirituality is about. So sometimes people will ask, what is spirituality? And it's hard to define in a way because Hatha Yoga is the foundation of that. It gets you into that meditative, higher mood state where you want to be healthy, you want to take care of yourself. All right, so interlace behind the hips. And try this. So it's not just an exercise program, it's very far from it. I mean, not far from it, there's so much more to it. So that feeling of euphoria after a class brings us into those higher states. We become kinder, gentler, more open to ideas and concepts. And then let's just release that. And you might have to shake that leg out. So even practicing Hatha every day will be so beneficial. We need that help every single day, especially in the times we're experiencing. There is so much negative energy in the world. On so many levels, that a daily practice becomes paramount, so we don't get too drawn into all of the news. All right, before I get too philosophical, let's come to, since we're kind of here, let's come to seated. But that's what happens when I begin to practice. That's what happens to me. Okay. Interlace and pull forward. And come up. So exhale down, inhale up. For the next 45 minutes that we practice together, those worldly thoughts, they disappear. And there's another great aspect of practice, daily practice, sometimes twice if you need it, sometimes when you're sick. All right. Now my nice little side stretch, just the easy version. Side stretch to the right. And then try left. And then go back to the right side and lift the left arm over. Switch sides. All right, let's release that and come to all fours and start cat stretch. And then from here, tuck your toes, come to an easy downward facing dog. Drop your heels to the floor. And step your right foot forward, just into a real simple lunge. So I think we did this during the Olympics. There was a class called Hatha Yoga in the Olympics, and I think we did this. This is the runner's lunge. And then go back to that easy down dog. It doesn't have to be very deep. And then try the left lunge. Keep your back leg straight if you can. And then down dog again. Just easy. You drop the heels with your feet. You need to walk them closer to your hands so that the heels drop. And then drop down to your knees. We'll work a little bit with modified side angle. So extend, well, I've got my right leg extended and the left knee bent, and bring your arm up and over the face. So just feel the reach of that right side if you're on that side. And then let's bring the back of your hand to the low back and open the shoulder, look up. This is a beautiful way to attempt side plank. And then bring the top arm over the face again. Reach. And this time, lift the leg. All right, release to the floor, but let's go right to the other side. So I'm dropping my right knee and extending my left. And then arm over the face. Really enjoy that opening. And then the back of your hand to the low back. You can rotate or roll that shoulder back as you look up so the neck is being nicely stretched in a safe way. Eyes are focused up, but very gently. Not a stare or rigid, just a softness to it. And then bring your arm over the face again as you lift the leg. And you can flex or point, do whatever you want with that foot. And reach, open that side. We're going to lower back to all fours into down dog. And then step that right foot forward into a lunge again. This time, drop your knee and lift the chest. And then go back to down dog. And try the left lunge, dropping the other knee. And down dog. Walk to forward fold. And swan dive up. Go right into a back bend. And then into a forward fold, hands in front of the feet. Arms out at a T, inhale up and back. Forward fold. And one more time, inhale up overhead. Back bend. And come to the heart, just stand here and let's recenter. Easy triangle pose, stepping wide, hands at a T, and right to left. And just do a few times on each side. Another very simple, very beautiful movement is this version of triangle. Little bit of twisting, lots of opening, even breathing. Gentle on the body, highly effective. And let's finish this side. And come to standing. Do a little bit of some balance work with eagle pose. So cross right over the left. Try to line up all your 10 toes. And before we do the arms, equal weight and feet. Nice and balanced, very centered. And then wrap the arms up. We're just going to stand here and enjoy the breath. Think of the space between the shoulder blades and how they are more open than they normally are. Now the chest is contracted, but the upper back is open. Breathe into that space. Kind of take a peek of how you have your arms crossed, and we'll do the opposite. So relax, change the cross of your feet, and try to change the cross of your arms. And we'll do the same thing. Balance the feet first, and then think of the spot between the shoulders, and breathe there. And it's interesting to notice how the body weaves and wobbles a little bit, and how it's always trying to find its center and its own balance. It's very natural for it to be swaying side to side gently. So you don't want to be rigid within all of that. You want to just notice, and it always comes back to center. So that's the lesson, or the knowledge, or the wisdom. Let's call that the wisdom of body. It's always centered. Always come back to that homeostasis state. All right, so relax the arms. Just stand. Notice. All right, with that sense, we're going to work with tree pose with the back of the chair. So we'll work with that same sense of balance, but it's a little bit of help with the chair. So go into a higher tree pose that you normally do. Look forward. And if you got your hands on the chair, just bring one hand to the chest center. And notice that sense of back and forth, shifting of the body, rebalancing, recentering, that natural sway, that very fluid movement. That's what we're working with today. That sense of coming back to our best self, our normal centered self. All right, release the hand and the leg, switch, and let's notice on this side. So first get very stable. Feel the whole bottom of the foot, and then bring one hand up. When you're somewhat steady, and then start noticing that gentle sway, a little shift. And there's things that you can do to help yourself recenter. One of them is centering the hand. The other one would be tucking the tailbone just slightly, and then looking straight forward, keeping the breath even, and softening the knee so it's not really locked. Just a little, just take a teeny straightness out of just a slight bend. Your legs still feel straight, but then that will help center everything. All right, out of that, stand in mountain pose. And let's go into sun salutations from here. So I'd like to do 3 of them today. All right, hands at your center, exhale and inhale up and forward fold. Into your right lunge and down dog. And cobra, down dog, and that right lunge. Fold and come up and fold. And left lunge. Down dog and cobra. Down dog and left lunge. Do a straight leg version of this set. And come up and do your version. All right, the second one, I'm going to drop the knee to the floor on the lunges. And the third one, I'll drop the whole torso toward the floor. So forward, up and back, and fold. Right lunge, down dog, cobra, down dog, right lunge, fold, and come up, and fold, and left lunge, down dog, cobra, down dog, left lunge, and cobra. Come up, under your chest, and breathe. All right, the last one, the lunge, will be straight leg and lowering the torso toward the floor. So here we go. Forward and fold. Down dog, cobra, down dog, right lunge, fold, and come up, fold, and that left lunge, drop it deep, down dog, and the cobra, bring your hips to the chair, really arc the back, down dog. Left lunge, nice and deep. Forward fold, and come up, and come to your center. All right. Let's come back down onto the floor once again. I like practicing staff pose because it's not anything that we do naturally. And it's not that easy. but it's good to establish strength in the lower abdomen and the low back. Strength in the legs. And balancing. All right, relax the legs. Might need to shake them a bit. Here, let's do this. Hands behind your hips and just leg lifts right and left. Okay, now come to easy pose. That'll help relax. One hand on each knee, chest forward, shoulders back. We've done about 35 minutes of movement. When you sit still, we can process that movement. Give yourself that time. While we're here, we're going to re-energize with a little bit of Kapalabhati. So, of course, exhale, natural inhale. Start with about 10 of them, and then rest in between. Take several breaths, and then start another round of 10 or 20. It's up to you. So begin when you're ready. And that second round. All right, let's begin moving again. Legs in a V, tuck the right knee in, left to left, right arm over. Try the other side. And come out of that. Bring both of your legs forward. And tuck the right heel into this little bear hug. And today we'll walk down toward that left foot. And playing a little bit more with this, wrap the right arm in front of the right shin. Hand rest on the hip. And if the body allows, you can start resting chest towards thigh. Come up and switch sides. So bear hug that left leg. And then walk to the right. And recreate that same thing. Come out of that. Go back to staff. And then spread the legs wide. Hang on to the toes and lower the chest. And then the right hand on the low back, work with shoulder, look up. Go to the other side. And then when you come out of that, we're going to go into squat, your version squat. Try to keep feet flat. Any way, whatever you need to do to keep your feet flat, do that. Now come up onto the toes. The tiptoe. Or you can raise your hands with the knees. Back to squat. And then onto our backs. Well, a little bit of arch pose, and then I think we'll go into a little more moving yoga. So a nice little bear hug. And before we go into arch, take an assessment of your neck and shoulders. Make sure it's healthy. Tip your head side to side. Soften your shoulders. Give them a little roll. And then feet to the floor, knees bent. And the right arm comes up as the hips come up. Keep the neck soft. Lower the hips and lower your hand. And we'll do that 3 times on each side. Inhale up. And exhale as you lower. And inhale up. And exhale. Go to the left. Do 3 times on this side as well. So the hand and the hip lowers at the same time. And the rise of the hip and the back of the hand hits at the same time. So adjust your movements. Kind of an interesting thing when the part of your body and your arm are moving at a different speed. All right, if you're done with the left, we'll go right into both. And as soon as you're done, hug the knees. All right, happy baby. And both feet on the floor, knees bent, arms out at a T. And today we'll drop both knees to the right and bring the arms up overhead. And then switch, bring hands down, palms down, heads opposite the knee. Switch. And switch. So just gently follow this from side to side. Inhale when your arms are up. Exhale when you're down. And with each of these movements, you can encourage the body to go a little deeper. You know, we're very warmed up, especially with the lower part of the body. And working with the knees together, feet stacked, and trying to lower knees closest to the floor would be something that you can work towards. Deepening that twist at the waist and drawing that energy up toward the shoulders and the neck by moving your head opposite the knees. So here again, we go to that natural balanced state where we shift from side to side in a larger fashion And when we return to neutral, we feel very balanced. One thing I forgot. Sorry. And those spammers somehow know I teach at 11 because I always get them between 11 and 12. But when anything like that happens, you never let it disturb you. Of course, I had to turn mine off. But if I was in a class and that happened, you don't miss a beat. And what that teaches you is the same thing you could do in meditation or in pranayama. You don't let those things disturb you. Unless, of course, you have to get it taken care of, like what I did. But otherwise, no. It's a very interesting practice. It's all part of practice. Actually, that's a major part of practice. Because we can't 100% control the world. We can't control where we practice or how it all turns out. You just do it anyway. All right. Now go back to your center. Come into Shavasana. And just let it all settle in. Let your shoulders get heavy, your hips get heavy, your head. And at the same time, you're relaxing all the muscles in your Let the breath settle. Let the muscles follow suit. Scan the body, starting with the head, and work through the face and neck and arms and hands and fingers. And then chest and belly and abdomen and upper legs and knees, lower legs, ankles, feet and toes. Everything is heavy, warm, very soft, very supportive, and very balanced. Go a little bit deeper, a little bit quicker. Feel the gentle rise of the belly, the softness of the lowering of the belly. And rest deeper. Take this moment. It's very special. It's very needed. Nothing to do. Nowhere to go. Just be right here. Take the sense of peace and ease and balance As you roll to your left and come to seated, and take it with you throughout the remainder of your day and your week until we meet again next week. Hands at your heart center. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste.